Greetings, my name is Neosekken and welcome to a Let's Play of Botched. Now this is a horror game that I found on Game Jolt. It looked interesting to me and so I decided to download it and do a Let's Play of it. Warning, contains explicit content not appropriate for children. This game will psychoanalyze you as you play. Click anywhere to continue. Now this game looked interesting to me when I found its store page, and I'll let the store page's description of the game explain to you what this is about. An unconventional dark romantic horror circling around depression, morality, tragedy, and infidelity. Botched features a visual novel-like reading experience with character dialogue, meaningful choices, and multiple endings. The story allows you to choose the protagonist's words and reactions while psychoanalyzing the player. The game contains mature, explicit, and depressing content, audio, and visuals. It may not be suitable for some players. For fans of Silent Hill, The Cat Lady, Harvester, Phantasmagoria, H.P. Lovecraft, Stephen King, Twin Peaks, weirdness, darkness, psychology, and psychological horror in general. Well, I have heard of the Cat Lady and Harvester and Phantasmagoria, but I don't really know anything about those IPs. But when it comes to all the other stuff mentioned, along with psychological horror in general, I'm definitely fans of all that other stuff. Although in the case of Twin Peaks, I've only seen a few episodes thus far as of me recording this. And a game that will try to psychoanalyze me as I play it. I haven't really had a game do that to me since Silent Hill Shattered Memories for the Wii, so I guess I'm kind of interested to see what this game will make out of, what kind of psych profile this game will make out of me as I play it. And yeah, and again, it just looked interesting. Gut instinct told me I should at least check this out, and so here we are. Anyway, if what I've read to you sounds like it piques your interest, same as me, then well, let's see what this whole thing is about, shall we? Let's begin. The visuals are certainly interesting, I'll say that much. Hello, Jane. You're a silhouette. I don't mind silhouettes. It's never gonna stop raining. We'll just get bigger umbrellas. Climate change. It's the worst, the absolute worst. Top 10. You said it. I hate the rain. So, I'm assuming that it's... Oh, wait. Was I supposed to, was I on time limit? Thanks again for doing this. It means a lot to me. Yeah, I'm just gonna reset real quick here because I wanted to choose an option. Choose an option here, so be right back. Alright, let's try this again. Let's just get bigger umbrellas. Now that's an idea. Thanks again for doing this. It means a lot to me. I know how much we both need it right now. I guess it couldn't hurt. I'm going to go with the top option. Even though I don't know what exactly I need right now. Yeah, we really do. My sessions have been helping me so much. I've just learned not to blame myself, and you shouldn't either. There's nothing that we can do but keep going. I know talking about your emotions isn't your favorite thing to do. This is for you. Well, it's for us too, though. You gotta want to feel normal again. So we can both feel normal again. So, what are we both suffering from exactly? Some form of depression? That sounds nice. It really does. I don't know if we'll ever get there. Well, hey, let's try to be optimistic. Well, here we are. Okay, so I guess we were just moving in the background. You know, now that I think about it, these are windshield wipers, aren't they? So I guess I'm in a car. I think I'll go back home and work on dinner. I'll be back in an hour. I love you. I love you too, Jane. Message from Alice. And you got an old flip phone, I see. It's kind of low in juice, though. You might want to stick it in a charger soon. That's not exactly a safe thing to have when you're out and about. A low battery on your phone. You should come over later. Okay, who are you to me? No. Tasha, you must be John. I'm Tasha Melfi. Nice to meet you. Why don't you have a seat? So, John, have you ever been a patient of talk therapy before? Have I ever been a patient? No, I haven't. Well, my responsibility is to allow you to set goals for yourself and help you define your own steps to reach them. I just had a thought. What if Jane... Okay, so one of the themes mentioned in the store page is infidelity. Cheating, in other words. So who am I cheating... If I'm cheating on somebody, assuming it's me who's doing the cheating here, who am I cheating on? Am I cheating on Jane, or am I cheating on Alice? Because if I am cheating on Alice, then me saying no is undoubtedly going to bite me in the ass here, because, well, I mean, I don't want to cheat on anybody. So, Alice, if I'm cheating on you and I said no to meeting up with you, I am terribly sorry. I did not know. Literal ignorance on my part. Anyway, I think I already read this. Whatever, I'll read it again in case I didn't. Well, my responsibility is to allow you to set goals for yourself and help you define your own steps to reach them. John, I'd like to discuss the incident that brought you here. What incident? The one involving threats you made to multiple co-workers. Oh. What'd you do, John? Look, just work with me here and it'll be painless. Then I'll sign that piece of paper over there that says you can go back to work. Any further discussions we might have are entirely up to you. We do need to have one certain discussion first. This incident today with your co-workers, it seems to stem from some forces outside the working environment. Such as? I'd like to ask you a few questions. Are you generally a happy person? I would say so, yeah. I'm glad to hear it. They say the best way to be happy is to actually try to be. Basically, what, fake it until you make it? Many depressed people are well practiced in their depression. They spend so much time in it that it becomes regular. Do you ever feel powerless? Sometimes, yes. Sometimes it may seem we have no control over the outside world, but you can always exercise control over yourself. You got to be the one to decide how you feel, not allow others to do it for you. Solid advice. Power doesn't mean you can control everything, but self-control is about holding power over your own emotions. Do you consider yourself physically healthy? Yes. Physical and mental health go hand in hand. One always affects the other. A healthy lifestyle is one of the major factors of conquering depression. Do you like your job? I wish there was a middle ground option, but I guess overall I would say yes, I like it. Wow, really? That's pretty rare this day and age. Excellent. We spend up to, and sometimes over, 1/3 of our adult lives working. It's a lot of time. That's a lot of time for self-reflection. When that reflection is negative, it takes a toll on your mental well-being. I don't know, I tend to just focus on get task X and Y done here in a certain amount of time before I run out of time to do that, and yeah. I don't really do much self-reflecting on my job here, comparatively more to literally any other time of the day here. I mean, my mind wants to wander somewhere, it will wander wherever it wants to, whenever it wants to. Do you think it's important to find fulfillment in your work? I would say yes, otherwise, well, you're not really going to be too terribly happy with it, no? People tend to live much happier lives when they believe they've done an honest day's work. Well, speaking for myself, I certainly feel that way. Do you consider yourself a social person? Not terribly, no. Alone time can be good, although too much time to yourself can be bad. Humans are social creatures. We get hungry for social interaction, the same way we do for food. Is there something in your personal life causing you stress? Well, that something could be anything remotely minor or something major, but if you're going to just ask for anything in general, I'll say yes. I would say that's certainly true for most people in general, that there's always something in your life that's causing you some form of stress, whether it be minor or major. I'd like to discuss this in depth with you. Why don't you start from the beginning? Take me step by step through today, starting first thing this morning. As I opened my eyes, I considered that every day would be the worst day of my life for the unforeseeable future. I had some terrible dream I couldn't remember. I tried not to think. The more the world came into focus, the more I wanted to shut my eyes again. The sun hadn't risen, but I wasn't going back to sleep. There was a sharp ringing in my ears that almost spoke to me. My mind was already traveling a mile a minute before I pulled myself out from under the covers. The clock said it was 4:44, and I didn't have to be to work until 7:30. Jane had called off work indefinitely. I couldn't blame her for it. She suggested that I do the same. But the last thing I wanted to do was mourn. I needed distraction. At work, I could make myself useful and focus my body on something else. Maybe nobody would ask any questions. Jane readjusted the covers as I got out of bed. It seemed she was asleep, and I was grateful for that. I didn't have the energy for any communication. I wasn't tired, but I felt like I had been hit by a truck. She had been so full of life up until the week before. I was really worried about how she would handle this. I had spent years in depressive, apathetic slumps, but Jane was the opposite. She used to look forward to every day. She'd wake up smiling. Well, what happened? What changed that? As I made my way to the bathroom, a wave of suicidal thoughts swam over me. The ringing in my ears seemed to get louder. Every possible scenario of the day ran through my head, and I rationalized to myself that the easiest way to deal with everything would be to put a stop to it all. I thought about life and how pointless it all was. I thought about how I'd spent 3/4 of the last year preparing for something that was no longer in existence. I thought about how selfish it was to feel that way. I imagined how much happier lives everyone could live without me. Well, Life is only here's how I see the things. Life can probably be inherently life is inherently pointless only if you choose to see it that way. You can add your own meaning to life, whatever it may be, positive or negative. I would encourage, positive, because, happiness is all around better for you and everybody involved, but it's, at the end of the day, it's your own personality, your own experiences that you use to determine what kind of meaning your life has in the grand scheme of things, or the meaning of the grand scheme of things in general. I don't know if I'm making 100% sense here. I think I could articulate this a bit better, but yeah, my general point is, if you think life doesn't have any meaning, add some to it of your own accord. It doesn't have to stay that way. And I don't know it's easy for me to say, but it's just how I see things. I much rather try to add my own meaning to things when things seem meaningless, rather than just dwell on the meaninglessness itself and risk falling into a depressive spiral over it. You know what I mean? I want to try to be happy even during the down parts of life. If not for the sake of other people, then for myself at least. I didn't turn the light on. I didn't want to see myself in the mirror. Just the idea alone made my stomach churn, and before I knew it, I found myself hoisted over the toilet, vomiting. I never liked the bathroom. It's too quiet. Far too much time for wandering thoughts, although my thoughts had been racing long before I'd entered the bathroom. I broke the silence of the bathroom as I spewed up the remaining contents. I almost found solace within a distraction of the act of vomiting itself. For a few seconds, there was nothing on my mind but the bile spewing from my throat, and it was a relief. I never feel relief whenever I'm vomiting. Ever. Quite the opposite, in fact. I laid my head upon the rim of the toilet. It was cool against my face. The smell of my own extrusion drifted up my nostrils and made me want to hurl again, but there was nothing left inside of me. I must have fallen asleep right there. Dream. I don't recall the details of it, but I remember a strange sound in the distance and a strong sense of purpose within a dream. It says, I see a sign in past text. All I can really make out is the word forget down here. Visually, it was hard to perceive. I had a noticeable headache, but it somehow reassured me that it was a dream. The walls and floor pulsed and throbbed. They had a flesh-like texture, reminiscent of tendons, and I was afraid to touch them. I was also afraid they'd touch me. My head throbbed in syncopation, there's a new word I had never read before, with the area around me. It hurt to see, so I closed my eyes, but all I could hear was the noise in the distance. It was calling to me, whatever it was. I heard it say my name. It sounded like a cry for help. Pull if you wish to forget. Yeah, pull if you wish to forget. Pull what? There was a drawing on the ground. It looked like a child drew it. There were broken pieces of a fluorescent light bulb scattered on top of it and around it. There's a strange lever with a sign behind it. let's look at the drawing. I cut my finger as I picked the drawing up. Blood ran off my finger onto the corner of the drawing. So, a bunny with its left paw risen up, perhaps in greeting. A hot dog. I'm not exactly sure what this is, but I'm getting a feeling of I want my money from it. And is that some kind of animal? I don't think it's a dog. I don't know what this is here at the upper left corner. Alright, let's move towards the lever. The sign above it read, "Pull if you wish to forget." Well, what do I not want to forget? I don't trust this, so I'm not going to pull it. I came to as my face slowly slipped off the rim of the toilet into the bowl. Ew. I spent a few moments hovered over the toilet trying to recollect pieces of the dream. But I figured I should stand up before Jane found me there. The bathroom walls seemed to pulse the same way they did in my dream, and I had to pinch myself to be sure it was reality. I rinsed my mouth out in the sink and stood up only to see my face staring back at me in the mirror. I tried not to look into my own dead eyes. I opened the medicine cabinet so the mirror wouldn't look back at me. Only now my medication was staring me in the face instead. My mind had grown so tepid and lifeless. I didn't know whether it was the drugs or my own psychological neglect. I'm going to try and just take the medication, even though I have no idea what it is or what exactly it does to me. I shouldn't neglect my mental health, assuming that it is something that I actually need. Have you been depressed since adolescence? Well, adolescence was a very depressing time for me in general, so but I don't feel that way anymore, but I'm going to say yes, just so it applies to my adolescence. It can be very hard to change a mindset you've grown up with. That doesn't mean change is impossible, though. Change is always possible. Anything is possible. Do you frequently have suicidal thoughts? No, I do not. Good. Those kind of thoughts can be extremely self-destructive. Is there any history of mental illness in your family? I think yes. I suggest you not dwell on that. Although genetics do play a role in depression, many people allow their family's history of mental illness to excuse their own behavior and thoughts. When it comes to nature versus nurture, you can't allow nature to determine how you take care of yourself. Duh. Do you consider yourself a narcissist? No. Far from it, actually. Is selfless a more appropriate term? Well, in general, I'd say yes. Are you prone to anger? Not really. Anger isn't a very healthy emotion, although it is natural and does serve a purpose. Many people who don't express their anger end up turning it back upon themselves. And that's exactly what depression is. Rage turned inward. It's more than that. It's more than just rage. It's feelings of hopelessness and sadness, regret. It's more complicated than just rage. speaking from personal experience anyway. Do you think you have an addictive personality? No. Good. Addiction holds too much power over modern-day society. We're surrounded with more problems than ever before. Instant access to worldly communication and information has allowed us to all become so disconnected from reality, and in turn led to higher addiction rates worldwide. Well, I think there is actual studies being done and showing just that correlation between social media and its addictive qualities and how it's generally impacting people's mental health. They're still being done. They're still being done right now as we speak, as of me recording this, and it's probably going to be years before we see the long-term effects of such things. But so far, there does seem to be evidence here that social media is both inherently addictive, and that too much of it here can be bad for your mental health. So, yeah, basically, just turn off Facebook or Twitter or whatever social media site that you use, and just go outside once in a while. It could do you wonders. That's my advice anyway. What do you do to tolerate being trapped in your own mind? I distract myself with things I enjoy. I maintain control of my own narrative. I count my friends and family for support. I do whatever, really. I distract myself. I was thinking of saying I just do whatever here, because I really do just do whatever here when I feel myself being trapped in my own mind. But when I look at the end result of what I tend to do, like if there's something on my mind here that I typically can't really do anything about, I just try not to dwell on it, and instead just find something to do that I enjoy to distract myself from such a thing. So yeah, the end result is, I guess, I just try to distract myself with things I enjoy. Whenever I feel like I'm trapped in my own mind over something I feel like I can't really control very well, if at all. So, yeah. That's good. Hobbies are one of the best ways to occupy a troubled mind. These nightmares, they are some kind of recurring dreams, I'm assuming. Would you like to spend some time discussing them? Okay. Yeah, I think they could be important. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to at least talk about them, I guess. Because what I'm thinking here is maybe talking about some of these things here might help put some of your own thoughts into better perspective, especially with another party discussing these things with you. Might help you think about or realize certain things that you might not really be able to think about on your own, at least not easily. If I'm making any sense here. I've always been fascinated by dreams. I think they say a lot about our unconscious and subconscious minds. How much do they really say, honestly? I wonder. What part of the dream you described to me was the most important to you, the most memorable? I guess the drawing. And why was that significant to you? It seemed kind of out of place to me compared to the scenery that was described to me and the lever. It has the lever and this fleshy-like scenery had a very, obviously nightmarish, uncanny quality to it here, but that drawing was even more uncanny because it just didn't really seem like it belonged in that area. So, here we are. I see. Do you believe that dreams hold metaphorical keys to our realities? Not necessarily. A lot of dreams are just gibberish that our minds dream up here just to... Yeah, I don't think I can articulate that at this point very well, so I'm going to just say no. They don't necessarily hold keys to anything. Do you usually remember the events in your dreams? Very, very rarely do I do. But in general, no. Like, the dreams I tend to remember are the ones that just seem incredibly vivid to me. Especially the few nightmares I had that actually had me waking up thrashing, maybe even screaming at one point. Not that I ever really have a big problem with that sort of thing. Like, they very rarely happened in my lifetime, ones that I can recall, but yeah, most of the time I can't really remember my dreams. Do you believe dreams can affect your physical and mental health? Under the appropriate circumstances, I suppose. There you are. Oh, sorry. I thought that was me again. There you are. How'd you sleep? Not terribly great, I'm afraid. Bad. Yeah. I had a weird dream. About what? I'm not quite sure. There were fences and gears and fans. There was a crane moving some blocks so big that it made the ceiling shake. I could feel it in my bones. Some sort of industrial area? Then it felt like, I don't know, like something snapped and the whole world dropped. Everything was falling. I was so scared. Is there a pause menu on this thing? Uh-oh. I think I accidentally just hit like a skip thing. I just want the nightmares to end. I mean, different kind of help. Have you talked to your therapist about it if you didn't spend so much time alone? Have you talked to your therapist about it? Yeah, but Bill doesn't like me to focus on my dreams too much. I've almost come to terms with it finally. It only took me, what, a week or so? I'm not like you. I can't just bounce back and pretend to be okay. I can barely talk about it. You should take as much time as you need. Thanks. So, what do you want for dinner tonight? Got lots of options here. Let's go out. Whatever you... I'm up for anything. Anything, huh? I just know I want chicken. Chicken it is. Then it's settled. As long as you don't mind, I'll drop you off at work today so I can use the car. The garage should be done with the truck by the time you're at work. So I'll pick you up from work and we'll swing over there. Okay, sounds good. Cool. Well, I'll text you anyway. I guess we should hit the road soon, huh? We hardly exchanged any words on the drive. I didn't feel like talking. My head was swimming in an unusual sea of thoughts, though the majority of them were related to the contents of the freshly filled grave, smaller than normal, not far off my route to work. I could almost see it at one point, though the rain didn't help. I wondered how many more times I'd drive by that grave in my life. How many times I take my eyes off the road to glance in this direction. Okay, so a grave. Who or what died? Well, whoever, whatever it is, I assume it has something to do with both of you guys' your bouts of depression, or at least James's depression. Apparently you, John, have been struggling with depression for all your life here, but Jane was very happy until only about a week ago, according to you. So I'm going to assume that whatever this grave is, it has something to do with what's going on with Jane. I'll just continue. I'm sure I'll figure out more. It was stupid to do a burial. The whole surface was stupid. Why even have a burial? Why let anybody know? Her mother posted the obituary without even letting me know. She put it in the local newspaper for the whole town to read the tragedy. Well, I guess it would be just to, let anybody who knew about who died who may have known the person who died to just want to attend if they want to. That'd be my guess. Alright, well, I'll text you later. Have a good day. I love you. Are you a religious person? Yeah. Do you believe in fate? That life was pre-written, that life has pre-written destinies, so to speak? Not really. Do you think we live in a just world? Not really. Are you a monogamous person? No. Wait a minute. Monogamy, that is... Wait a minute. Isn't that for sticking to one partner or multiple? No, wait, I think polygamy is... No, wait, I think it's polygamy, that's multiple partners. Let me look it up. The practice of being married to one person at a time. Oh, shit. I meant to say yes. Damn it. Yeah, I always get those definitions mixed up. Polygamy and monogamy. Son of a bitch. Okay, I'm back here again. Luckily, it turns out that the escape key acts as the skip key for this game, so I was able to get back here very quickly. Anyway, monogamous person. Yes, I consider myself monogamous. I do not have any desire to have multiple partners in romantic relationships. One is just perfect for me. Now, hopefully next time, for future reference, I can actually freaking remember the definition of monogamy and not confuse it with polygamy, or vice versa. Do you believe in karma? That what goes around comes around? Yep. Well, it's kind of like the principles of cause and effect. If you do a lot of good things in life here, those good actions could come back to reward you in a good way, just like bad actions can come back to haunt you. It's kind of, just cause and effect. So you're Alice. I find it interesting how their silhouettes, Jane and Alice, considering, and I'm guessing going by the themes of depression and suicide and numbness in terms of, mental faculties, I guess the reason why Jane and Alice here are just silhouettes rather than having any discernible features is so they come across as just like faceless entities to me for the most part. Yeah, I feel like I'm not... Okay. Yeah, I just think... Yeah, I think there's something... It's supposed to convey something missing from the whole thing. Something humanizing. If that makes sense. So... Hey, look who finally came back. I missed you. Give me a hug. It's... Well, who are you to me, exactly? It's good to be back. Same old quiet John. So is this your truck at the shop? Whispers, I heard about Jane and your child. I'm sorry. Oh, dear. My child's dead? That would definitely, I guess, explain Jane's recent change in personality, wouldn't it? It would also explain John's, well, I guess his own depression issues just being cranked up to 11. So, the child's drawing in that dream, along with the lever giving me the option to pull if I want to forget. I'm going to assume that the dream has something to do with John and Jane's child. Not 100% certain yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if I'm onto something here. But this is, and I just feel terrible for saying and even thinking it. This is perfect for us. Oh, so it's perfect that me and my wife's child recently died, huh? It's perfect for me and you? There is no us. Even when I touch you here? John. We both can't keep ignoring fate. I know I can. Okay, so why am I even seeing you in the first place? Is what I want to know. Are you like a coworker or something? Some friend of the family that I've known for a while? Like, who are you? I'll catch you later. Jane, I tried to stay faithful, even when she touched me inappropriately. Just wanted to say that I love you. I hope that you have a good day. I love you too. What do you want? This isn't exactly the most ideal circumstance, but it's given us a chance to erase the walls that were holding us back and come together as one. I never felt more complete than when you were inside of me. I know that you have a passion for me. I know you think of me when you're with her. There are no ties anymore. You have no reason to hide being with me any longer. I need to be there for my grieving lover. There's my reason for staying with her. What was it you said to me that week she was at her mother's? It's not her, it's the baby. Well, now what? If you don't break it off, I will. Leave me alone, leave us alone, it was a mistake. Yeah, seriously, fuck off, bitch. Okay, so, work. I was on the floor like I usually am 8 hours a day. It wasn't long before I let my thoughts roam. Try to focus on the work. The life I built for myself was crumbling apart in my fingers. It didn't make any sense to me, but it was my fault. I was the one who turned concrete back into sand. I was the one who had sinned. I brought God's vengeance to the innocent person I was supposed to protect. And I was reaping everything I sowed. Alice is a feisty snake woman. She hides her deception behind her beautiful eyes. I assume this is some kind of... I assume this is Alice here. I've never been more sexually attracted to anyone in my life, and part of the allure is how very wrong it is for me to feel that attraction. She had always made her interest in me very forthcoming and was unwilling to take no for an answer. Well, she really should. A few weeks ago, my truck wouldn't start after a late night at work, a fairly common occurrence. Alice drove off and offered me a ride home. Jane was out to dinner with her mother, so I accepted Alice's offer. When she parked in front of my house, she started touching my leg and moved it towards my thighs. Before I knew it, we were in the back seat. It felt amazing while it was happening. Incredible. Unbelievable. Nothing ever felt so primal, so instinctive. It was the best sex I'd ever had. The moment it ended, I was overwhelmed with guilt, remorse, and dread. It was the same night we lost our child. So she basically took advantage of you while you were in a state of mourning and grief, and you just went along with it to, I don't know, numb yourself from the pain or something. I was replaying that day in my head, somewhat detached from reality. I had managed to distract myself from the depressive thoughts by focusing on the sexual ones. Someone interrupted me. Something in me snapped. I don't know what happened exactly. I usually keep everything to myself at work. I am comfortable in my own negative thoughts. I've been surrounded by them my whole life. The next thing I remember is sitting in my boss's office alone. He came in and told me Joey was going to be fine, and I needed to go home. Then he told me I had to come see you tonight. Hey, there you are, handsome. Pretty eventful day, huh? So, you need a ride? No. Whatever. So how was your day? Weird. Yeah? My mother called me when I was at the grocery store and got upset because I didn't want to talk. I'm getting tired of her shit. She's just not sure how to deal with things. Cut her some slack. She needs to stop acting like this is her burden to bear. So, anything eventful happened today? There was an incident at work. I have to see a therapist. Oh no, honey. I'm sorry. Maybe you went back to work too soon. I heard a funny, stupid, spoopy joke today. Do you want to hear it? Sure. I don't care. It's Halloween. I'm going to tell you anyway. Why did the one-armed skeleton fail as a comedian? I don't know, tell me. The rest were twice as humorous. I won't lie, that made me smile. Oh, come on. Humorous? Bones? Okay. How about this one? What's a skeleton's favorite instrument? Oh, crap. I feel like I could guess this one, but I don't know. What is it? The trombone. Thanks for putting up with me. I like you. We have similar senses of humor. Or at least we both like puns. I love you. I love you too. Well, here we are. The mechanic told me the radiator was leaking, but it's all fixed now. I'll see you at home. Be safe. I felt like a pile of shit. I wanted to tell Jane. I wanted to tell her weeks ago. I wanted to tell her before it ever even happened. I never did. I don't know why. I'm a coward. I was terrified of the outcome. I was scared of being alone. I was scared of her leaving me. I was scared of her moving on with her life. I was scared of her blaming me. Look, I'm sympathetic to your fears, and I can understand how... Okay, I can't understand exactly, because I never cheated on anybody, but... my advice is, it's better to just try to come out with it and just tell your lover what happened sooner rather than later, because the longer that you put this off, and the worse it's going to be for you when they find out eventually. Sure, it may end the relationship anyway, even if you were to come out right away, almost immediately after it happened or whatever, but it could be so much worse for you if you just waited indefinitely until it just, yeah. Just, that's also my advice. Just, if you did something like that, it's best just to get it done and over with rather than just put it off until they find out somehow eventually, because at least there's a better chance that things could still work out okay in the end if you did it like that than the other way around. At least that's how I would see it. I thought about the best ways to kill myself. The water under the bridge looked inviting. I imagined myself dangling from a rope off the side of it. I envisioned lying down in the middle of the road, waiting for a passing vehicle to crush my skull. I visualized my head smashing against the trees I passed. All those thoughts were more comforting than the thought of facing reality. But what about Jane? She clearly still loves you. She wants what's best for you too, and she wants to help you. Especially since you're suffering too. Do you want to leave? Do you want to leave her behind, especially after what happened with your kid, John? I can't imagine how painful it would be here to actually lose your child here. I mean, I'm no parent myself, but you still have each other. You should try to be there for the other person. It felt like I had no control. Even when I tried to do the right thing, it wasn't the right thing. I always thought I was a good person, but the more I analyzed it, the more I found myself to blame. I wanted to believe that if I did what I thought was right, I'd be able to sleep at night. Jane and I would be able to move past this. Hey, you. I've almost got dinner ready. Well, ready to start cooking anyway. Chicken. I've got a psychiatrist appointment. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. I'm sorry. I can't tell you how happy I am that you're doing this. I'll ride down with you. This will be fine in the fridge till we get back. And now you're here. John, I'm somewhat speechless. You're a man who has been through a significant trauma and who has made some regrettable decisions that place a heavy burden on your shoulders. I'm sorry, John. I just have a few more questions and we'll wrap up for the night. Please only state the truth. Are you feeling the same shame and guilt as before about your infidelity? Well, yeah. I'd feel pretty shitty if I did something like that to a romantic partner. Do you want to be with Alice? No, I do not. Do you plan on telling Jane? Yes. Do you want to stay with Jane? Yes. Do you feel your transgressions are somehow responsible for the loss of your child? No, I don't. I don't really know what happened to the child, so how can I really say for sure whether or not it's my fault? You think Jane has handled the loss well? I can't really say no. I'm going to say no. Do you believe you're at risk of committing suicide? Well, considering his... I'm going to assume I'm speaking for John, so... And do you think someday you'd consider conceiving another child? I don't know. See, thank you for your honesty, John. I'd like to see you again, and as soon as possible. Please come back tomorrow morning. In the meantime, think about the people around you. Harness others' strength as your own. Consider new ways to face your challenges. It seems Jane is here. We'll stop here for the evening. Here's my card. I'll see you in the morning, John. Please don't hesitate to call. Yeah, toward the end, I was kind of honestly starting to wonder, for those last questions I was being asked, should I answer more as myself in John's place, or as John himself as I understand his character and how his trauma affected him? So I was kind of confused there on how to proceed, so I'm worried that might have influenced my decisions a bit here on those last few questions, but hopefully not. Hopefully this won't screw me up somehow. Hey you, how was it? Oh yeah, that's private. You don't have to tell me anything you don't want to. Well, dinner should be ready by the time we're home. Do you feel any better? Do you think it helped? John? Did you eat anything today? What's going on? You used to be a human being. One capable of rational thought. One capable of considering others. One capable of doing the right thing. That was a long time ago. What happened to your soul? Who were you speaking to? John or me? There you are, sleepyhead. Chicken is ready. Obviously you need to eat something. I made sure not to turn the front light on. I didn't get any candy for the trick-or-treaters. Plus, I don't think I could keep myself together in front of children. Please talk to me, John. I can tell there's something on your mind. Oh, finally, we get to see you speak, John. Yeah, it's important. Actually, if this is about the baby, Can it wait until after dinner? It's not. It's about us. Oh? I love you, Jane. John? I love you too. I just don't want to lose you. And I feel like I am. I slept with another woman a few weeks ago. But it was just a one-time thing. Who is she, John? She's someone at work. It's not important who she is. Jesus fucking Christ. Is that her now? I can't fucking believe you. Let's see what she has to say. When are you coming over, sweetie? I've been thinking about you all night. Here's something to make sure you're thinking of me. She sent you a picture. Probably something lewd if I had to guess. Wow. She looks like a nice girl. I can see why you like her. I'm sorry. There's no excuse for what I've done. I can't believe this. Can you ever forgive me? Do you even want me to forgive you? How could you do this? While I was pregnant? Wait. So the child was a miscarriage then? I thought the child was already alive and had lived a few years until recently. Oh dear. What did I do to deserve this? How can you live with yourself? Trust me, he's not exactly handling the whole thing all that well. I remember so clearly now. You said you had to work late. And you came home drunk. And while you were there, that's when I finished off your bottle of whiskey. And I fell down the stairs. Oh my God. That's how it happened. Oh no. I didn't even know. Well, how could you? You came home and fell asleep on the couch, and I was still lying on the bottom of the stairs. I finally managed to get up by morning. You were still passed out. I waited until you were at work to go to the hospital. Why did you drink at all? I don't know, John. Why did you fuck her? Why are you doing to this? Why do the answers to any of your questions matter? I don't understand why you're the only one who doesn't need to explain your moral decisions. Why are you not held to the same standard that you hold me to? This isn't my fault, Jane. Regardless of what I've done, you're the one who made your own decisions. We would have lost the baby anyway. Shut your fucking mouth, John. You're the most despicable human being I've ever known. My mother was absolutely right about you. Look, just shut the fuck up and get the fuck out of my life. I know we can't just forget about this, Jane. I want you to forgive me. I want to be with you. I'll do whatever it takes. It's too late for that, John. I wish I could forgive you so easily. But I can't. I've got to live with myself. I don't know how I could ever trust you again. Just leave. You clearly have somewhere else you can be. I don't want to go there. She's batshit crazy. What the fuck? The light isn't even on. There's no candy here! Oh my fucking god. Let me guess. Alice is at the front door. Do I have to tell it to your face? What happened when she opened the door? Alice was waiting there, wearing a bedsheet like a child's ghost costume. I tried to stop it. Oh no. Then all these conversations I've been having with Jane were all flashbacks? So these therapy sessions are actually the present while everything else is a flashback? She dropped the bedsheet and there she stood, bare naked in my front door. Alice had a knife in her hand. She looked beautiful. Jane looked back at me. And then... I'm sorry. I can't do this. I don't want to talk anymore. What happened, John? She swung at Jane's throat. Jane moved quickly enough to get out of the way. I ran towards the doorway, screaming for Alice to stop. She locked eyes with me and smiled. I tried to wrestle the knife from her hand. She kicked me in the groin. That's when she made her way towards Jane. Jane was cowering in fear at the bottom of the staircase. I tried to stop it. I wasn't quick enough. Tried to stop what? Come on, Tasha, use your imagination. She stabbed Jane right in the stomach. I managed to bring Alice down, but not until the damage was already done. She ran off, naked, into the night. Jane is okay, but she'll never be able to have children again. So wait, Alice was the cause of the miscarriage? Yeah, I'm just trying to piece together here all these events here and when they took place. If so, then Alice, you murderous bitch, I hope you rot in hell. She's at the hospital now. She asked him not to let me in. I don't think she ever wants to see me again. How are you doing, John? Not too well, I can imagine, and frankly, I don't blame him. I'm terrible. I'm responsible for everything. I have to go. John, wait. You're not thinking of doing what I think you're doing, are you, John? I parked my car in the middle of the bridge. There was no one around. There seemed to be no activity in the world. The only sound I could hear was running water. I had a rope in the trunk. Please don't do it. I thought about writing a note. I had nothing left to say. I didn't want to be remembered. I didn't want to explain why. I didn't want to explain anything. I had nothing to justify. There weren't enough words in the world to allow me to express myself. I tied one end to the steering wheel and the other around my neck. John, don't do this. I was excited for the first time in a long time. There was nothing left to say, nothing left to tolerate. I only had one more decision to make, and that was when to take my last step. I hoped I wouldn't dream. John, don't do it. John. Initial mental health assessment. Patient John XX. Dr. Tasha Melfi, PhD. Data evaluation. Halloween, 10/31/2018. Reason for evaluation. Requested by employer. Patient threatened coworkers with violence. Highly stressed due to personal relationships and family tragedy. History of depression, social outbursts, and frequent mental instability. Patient seems capable of self-control. Has a thorough understanding of depression and the necessary tools to combat it. Capable of handling daily stresses of life and responding appropriately. Unlikely to hurt self or others. Tends to enjoy simple things in life rather than dwell on the negative aspects. High capacity to act professionally, reasonably, and considerate. So we're psychoanalyzing me now. Likely to consider the difference between right and wrong, while considering the long-term effects of his own decisions. Finds fulfillment in the happiness of others. Demonstrates a moral compass for others. Unlikely to silence their opinions. Measures self-worth and social aptitude by one's ability to think for themselves. I definitely do. Highly likely to voice opinions and feelings regardless of the effects on others. Demonstrates openness towards new ideas and concepts. Intrigued by unfamiliar ideas and willing to try new things. Lacks a consideration for the future, organizational efforts, and planning skills. Shows disregard for punctuality, cleanliness, and responsibility. Now that's not true. I do care about punctuality, cleanliness, and responsibility. Low sociability and places low value in relationships. I don't agree with that one either. I just don't care to have a lot of relationships. The ones I do have, I greatly value. More likely to spend time trapped inside his own mind than in discussion. Shows little concern for others' personal problems and feelings. I definitely do not agree with this. At all. Lacks leadership abilities and sees no benefit in charitable and considerable actions. There's definite benefits to charitable and considerate actions here. I mean, I freaking explained as such here right when we were talking about the concept of karma, albeit poorly, but still. I like being charitable to people. It feels good. Low likelihood of depression, anxiety, mania, and self-harm. High emotional stability and not easily irritated or stressed. Thanks for playing. Oh, that's it? Yeah, okay. That psych evaluation was definitely interesting because it seemed to really feel accurate in how it described me, especially in the beginning, but towards the very end, in that last paragraph, when it was talking about my low value in relationships in general and low interest or value in doing charitable actions for other people, all that stuff. That's when it really started to raise my eyebrows, and I started to object quite a bit here because those are just simply not true. I do place value in that stuff as well. I mean, I like to think that I know myself as a person very well, but But I do know that there are some things about myself here that, well, some people I guess can see better than I can sometimes. A few people with relationships that I have, but I definitely think I know myself well enough to know that I'm not the sort of person who doesn't hold any sort of value in doing charitable acts or actions for other people. And I certainly have value in relationships. I just don't care enough to have a crap ton of them because I'm an introvert. I don't mind socializing with other people. I can hold a conversation with people one-on-one or whatnot just fine, but I just don't care to have a huge social circle of friends and affiliates. I like to keep things small and simple. And after socializing a while, I just need to go and go by myself and recharge. It's not that I don't dislike social interactions or dislike doing things for other people. Far from it. I do enjoy that stuff. It's just there's only so much of it I can take before I just feel drained and I need to go recharge. Like, I don't know, maybe I think towards the end here, those last few questions it was asking me during that psych evaluation, I do think maybe I did screw up on some of those questions a bit, because I was thinking more about how would John the character respond rather than how I myself would respond. So maybe I ended up screwing up my own evaluation a bit by answering differently than I would normally. If those questions were being asked towards myself. But beyond these blatant inaccuracies that I pointed out, I will say here, I do think overall it paints a pretty good picture of myself. Not a good picture, a good accurate picture. But now I'm depressed, like, John, I didn't want to see him commit suicide. I mean, I guess it was kind of inevitable in hindsight that it would happen, especially regardless of what actions I took, but holy shit, man. There had to have been another option. I mean, Jane could just... It was a huge shock you admitting such a thing to her, that you committed infidelity, especially after all these other issues that have been occurring in your lives. She's had a lot on her plate, so of course to me it's obvious she's gonna lash out. She's gonna be angry at you. She's not gonna have anything to do with you, but if you at least gave her some time to calm down, maybe she would want to speak to you again. It would hurt like a son of a bitch. Especially if I was in your shoes, if I know myself as well as I think I do, but I would still try to hold on to hope that maybe eventually, after enough time passes and maybe she calms down, maybe she would be willing to try and let me talk to her again. And if not get back with me, then at least end things on more amicable terms. So neither of us has to leave each other absolutely feeling bitter and betrayed and just downright depressed about everything that happened. I just feel like in general, if you just chose to wait, there could have been a better outcome, even if only marginally so. I don't know. All I know is I'm sad if he actually really did just went through with it, and honestly, it looked like he did. Son of a bitch. So yeah, Tisha, psych lady. Remember when you asked me if I do feel moments where I feel powerless? Well, here's one right here. I feel absolutely powerless, and it's frustrating because, yeah, I understand that, this is just a fictional character that chose to off himself after suffering one traumatic event after another, but still, I mean, I don't like seeing shit like this happen here, especially when I take the time to get to know the character. It's just like, I wouldn't wish this sort of thing on anybody here. This kind of despair. It's just, I can't imagine how it must feel. So I just wouldn't want to wish that on anybody. I would want them to be able to move on with their lives, to seek the help they need, to get better, find happiness and meaning in life again. But stuff like this, when you feel so pushed to the edge to where you just off yourself, it's depressing. There's no other word for it. I think I've rambled on long enough. This was certainly an interesting game, for sure, especially in the visual department. But man, and I'm pretty impressed with how, at least for the most part, the psych evaluation seemed to get a lot of my personality pretty spot on. But, well, I've already talked about that at length here. Also a bit poorly, but alas, I did. But yeah, even though this ending has left me feeling pretty depressed, I don't regret checking this game out. It was certainly a very interesting piece of work. Botched, I mean. So yeah, this has been Botched. I hope that you enjoyed me covering this game. If you did and you want to see more content from me, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys next time. Take care.